Dosha. My name is Kim Metler, and I am a citizen of the three affiliated tribes, the Mandan, Hidatsa, and Arikara Nation, Fort Berthold, North Dakota. I am also the Tribal Star Program Manager, and I'm very happy to have been invited to share with you about the update about the Core 3.5 ICWA revision for the Common Core social worker curriculum. So Tribal Star, I'm very pleased to say that Tribal Star was chosen as the contractor back in October to manage and to actually complete the ICWA revision for that line worker core curriculum. The purpose of the revision was to meet the Common Core standards for Phase 3 to incorporate all aspects of California Integrated Core Practice Model, recommendations from the Office of Tribal Affairs and from the Curriculum Development Oversight Group, otherwise known as CDOG, and also to integrate principles of fairness, equity, trauma-informed practice, and structured decision-making. And also importantly in this revision was to update all of the legal requirements and the best practice standards. How we did our work was intended to be as collaborative as possible. And what we did was we convened a curriculum advisory group, which was comprised of child welfare practitioners, legal experts, and training and curriculum development people. It represented a spectrum of expertise, including county and tribal social services, attorneys, judges, advocates, caregivers, training specialists, and tribal representatives and advocates. It represented all regions of California. It represented urban and reservation Native populations, represented federally recognized and unrecognized tribes, and included non-California Natives, people like me. What we did was we sought feedback on the current 3.0 ICWA curriculum. And we did this through Tribal Star sent out a statewide survey. We conducted a statewide listening session, and of course, networking through our Tribal Star collaborative partners. The feedback that we received came from Tribal Star community leadership, stakeholders, and our training team. We got feedback from tribal social service providers, county child welfare services, court-appointed special advocates, folks from the legal community, training participants, regional training academies and their trainers, tribal leadership, the Office of Tribal Affairs, and of course, CDOG, Curriculum Development Oversight Group. To summarize the feedback that we received before we began the actual revision process, we heard that, this is what we heard and this is what we did. We needed to emphasize skill building to support ICWA compliance. We were told loudly and clearly, do not get rid of any aspect of the historical context. People need to know the why in order to do the how. We wanted to make sure that the curriculum was a living model of teaming and engagement that we expect from state county agencies with regard to the tribal nations. We were asked to continue to make sure that we talked about the historical trauma, but also to focus on the resilience of Native people. We emphasized, and this again came from feedback that we received from all of the ICWA stakeholders, to emphasize two cornerstones of ICWA, which was active efforts and tribal sovereignty. We heard that it was important to combat negative bias against perceptions of Native people and partnering with tribes in ICWA itself. And it was also really strongly encouraged to ensure that we reframed ICWA as the gold standard of child welfare practice. So when you see the new curriculum, these are the things that you will see. It's very much focused on skill building, and the cornerstone and foundation of every conversation in the new curriculum is based on active efforts and tribal sovereignty. And we emphasize throughout the curriculum that ICWA is the gold standard in child welfare practice. The Curriculum Advisory Group met monthly starting in November of 2020 to discuss the content, discuss challenges, what practice actually looked like out in the world, reviewing and identifying places in the 3.0 curriculum that needed upgrade. The Curriculum Advisory Committee spent a great deal of time providing in-depth review of not only the 3.0 curriculum, but every phase of the 3.5 revision. Lots of conversations were spent, and it was unfortunate we didn't have more time, but lots of conversations spent talking about tribal cultural values and really making sure that the values of our community and our cultures were center in guiding our work, and also emphasizing prevention is always plan A. Not only did the Curriculum Advisory Group meet monthly and phone calls in between with questions and clarifications, but we also met monthly with ICWA to make sure that our progress was on target, and we provided regular updates to the Tribal Advisory Committee and to the Office of Tribal Affairs. The pilot curriculum, the curriculum was piloted for the first time on May 17th, and it went very well. We were really excited to be able to do the pilot, and we got some really great feedback and learning about what worked, what needed a little bit more work. And one of the things we heard consistently was that this was a great curriculum, full of information, and there's never enough time to really get everything out that we need to get out. We built in, after the pilot and we received the feedback, we built in some of the changes that were recommended around things that needed to be emphasized, additional trainer tips, instructions for activities, and those kinds of things. And the final revision, the final curriculum was submitted to ICWA on May 27th. So it is out of our hands now. Our child has left home and is out in the world. ICWA is putting the final touches and reviewing to ensure that it is ADA accessible. The last piece that needs to be completed is a T4T webinar is going to be recorded, and it will be posted and submitted to ICWA at the end of June. So when can we all see the final version? The core 3.5 curriculum will be rolled out in July, and that includes the ICWA curriculum. ICWA is part of the foundation block for core 3.5, and some pieces of that revised curriculum are actually live now. But the official word is in July is when we can see the brand new curriculum. So for those of you who are interested, Tribal Star will be delivering the new curriculum in late July. We're going to do our full day training to introduce 3.5 out into the world. And then early August, we are going to have a 2-day T4T. The first day will be a regular ICWA training, and the second day will be devoted to giving some context to how the revisions came to be, why it is the way that it is, offer training tips to folks who are going to be learning this and having to shift from 3.0 to 3.5. And then we're also going to offer a tech session, because all trainers are going to need to be utilizing the state system called CACWIT. And so we'll have an opportunity to show people how to do that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who was a part of this process, who provided feedback and guidance, asking your questions, telling us your opinion, telling us what you saw for the future. We absolutely appreciate the opportunity and are grateful for the opportunity that we were able to be a part of this project. And anyone who has questions or would like to join us, please feel free to check out the Tribal Star website and our newsletter, where we'll have information about upcoming trainings. Thank you for your time.